trigger and the mind is on the plan. I got my prescription and every citizen's got his.
Greetings my chess friends, and once again welcome to this chess video, and in it we are going to discuss king safety. Now the queen might be the most powerful piece on the chessboard, but the king is the most valuable. Get your king in a position where it's under attack and it cannot move, and the game is over. Checkmate. It's usually a good idea in the opening phase of a chess game to get your king in a safe position, usually by castling. In order for us to do that, we need to make way for our minor pieces by a minimal amount of pawn moves. We develop our light pieces and we can castle. And of course it's generally not a good idea to move pawns on that flank where we are planning on castling. Now you might think this is a very simple and wise thing to do, but I can show you countless games of chess where sometimes very highly rated players neglect this simple strategic idea of king safety, and they suffer as a direct consequence. Because what sometimes happens is the opponent prevents the king from castling, and the king is caught in the centre, and the opponent will use this fact to open lines, sometimes sacrificing material to attack a king that is caught in the centre. So king safety is paramount in a game of chess, and let's look at a few examples which highlight what can happen if you neglect this simple piece of advice. Okay, here we have a game, and with the white pieces is Alexander Alekhine, very famous Russian world champion, and with the black pieces is a player called Vasich. And the game begins e4, e6, d4, d5 is of course French defense. Alekhine plays probably the most aggressive move, knight to c3, and here Vasich plays the winner variation. Now the normal move is to advance his pawn, but here Alekhine plays a very interesting move, bishop to d3. And although black is under no compulsion, he takes this knight, b takes c3, and here black plays an essentially superfluous and useless move, h6. Why is it useless? Well, it simply does nothing, absolutely nothing, for piece development. Bishop a3, preventing the black king from castling on the king side. Knight to d7 and queen e2, and here we can see that Alekhine is lining his powerful pieces up against the black king. D takes e4 was played, bishop takes d4, knight f6, bishop retreats to d3, and here, well, black played strange move, b6. It would have been much better for him if he can play a move like c5, challenging the centre and at least trying to block this bishop on this powerful diagonal. Oops. But he played b6. And here Alekhine played a killer move, because all the strategic signs are there. King that is stuck in the centre, bishop with an excellent diagonal, and see if you can find the killer move. I'll give you about a few seconds, and of course the move is queen takes e6. Ouch. Of course the pawn is forced to recapture, and Alekhine finishes the game with the beautiful bishop to g6. Both bishops cutting across the king. And the day of reckoning has come for black. And this is what can transpire if your king is prevented from castling and gets stuck in the centre. And Alekhine showed in a very amazing way how to open up lines for attack against such a king. Okay, here's another very instructive game in which white prevents the opponent from castling. The white pieces is Lehmann, and with the black pieces is a player called Mueller. The game begins e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, and bishop c5. And here white employs a gambit, b4, bishop takes on b4, c3, bishop a5, d4, e takes d4, and castles. Bishop b6 is played, and here c takes d4, d6, and knight c3. And even though black has won a pawn, he has only developed two pieces, whereas white's pieces occupy some excellent positions. And here black plays knight to f6. It's a developing move, but it's a very dubious move, simply because white can get an initiative against this knight and open up lines against the uncastled king. e5, a very strong move, and the aim of this move is simply to divert this pawn away from this diagonal here. d takes e5, bishop a3. Once again this bishop comes to this diagonal, preventing the black king from castling. And now white's task is simply to make use of the situation and immediately start an offensive against the king that is stuck in the centre. Knight a5 was played. Knight takes e5, knight takes c4, queen to a4, check. Bishop d7 was played. Queen takes e4, bishop e6, and here white sacrifices another pawn simply to open up lines against this uncastled king. He plays the amazing d5. Another pawn sacrifice, wow. Bishop takes d5, queen to a4 check, c6, and rook a to d1. Knight to d7, knight takes d7. Look at this juicy open file against the uncastled king. Queen takes d7, knight takes d5, c takes d5, and here white has a killer move. I'll give you a few moments to see if you can work out what it is. All the elements are here. King is stuck in the centre, an open file against the king. king has little protection. Okay, and here white played the amazing rook takes d5, sacrificing the queen. And of course black simply resigned, because after queen takes e4 there follows the beautiful rook to e1, checkmate. Of course the bishop could interpose itself with something like this, but it's a lost cause. An awesome game where white was prepared to sacrifice material. First of all, there's a pawn on d6 to open up a line for this bishop to prevent the black king from castling, and then further pawn sacrifices to open up lines against the uncastled king. And I think this is an absolutely awesome example of how to punish someone who refuses to take care of the safety of their king in the opening phase of a chess game. So I thank you once again, my dear chess friends, for watching this chess video, and I wish you well with your own chess.